Hi, you're watching Driver 88, and I have some mates which make BMWs much faster. They're called Elite Euro Performance, and over the last year, we've been trying out a bunch of their builds, namely their 1000 horsepower F80 M3 that we got a go in, as well as their single turbo kits for F80s, which make them sound infinitely better. They also took our M4 competition not long ago to 800 horsepower. Which we were able to run a 10.0 on the street in full street trim with street tires. No less on crappy Dominican Republic roads. Quite amazing. So naturally, the boys tuned Supras as well, and they wanted me to check out this build, which is an incredibly good-looking mix of aesthetics and performance. So let's go and check that out right now.
All right. Welcome back to EEP. Today we've got something a little bit special, a Stage 3 A90 Supra. Obviously a lot of people know that we specialize in the BMW platform. Believe it or not, the A90 Supra is a BMW. So Toyota did their styling and all that type of thing, but a very popular platform that we modify quite frequently. The B58 engine in these is iconic for making big power quite easily. So the customer came in, blank canvas, completely stock from the beginning, and he wanted to make something that not only stands out from the crowd, but definitely makes your palms sweaty when you hit the accelerator. Yeah, so this is fitted with our Stage 3 package, so I'll open the bonnet and we'll have a look. So exactly, yeah, what does Stage 3 mean? Now, in most terminology, it is adding larger components or, a bit more hectic components from the bolt-on side of things. A lot of people would be familiar with Stage 2, which is traditionally, a downpipe, an intake, tuning, that type of stuff. This customer wanted to go a little bit further than the norm. So this is actually fitted with the biggest low mount turbo kit that you can get. It's from Remnant Performance. Very popular in the sense that it looks OEM, but it's actually a G30 900 core. So quite large compared to an OEM turbo. It all fits in the factory locations, not too invasive, not too much trouble fitting it in. So that takes care of the boost side of things. On the fueling side of things is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So this runs a Dorsch Engineering high pressure fuel pump, which allows us to run obviously high pressure, more fuel. But we also pull out the injectors and use the injectors from a G80. So again, gives us more flexibility from fuel quantity and that type of thing. So obviously we can increase the power. Yeah. Also the whole fuel system on the back end as well is upgraded. We put larger pumps in the tank, bigger lines to basically feed the engine. So from a stock form on the dyno, they make about 230, 240 kilowatt. This one just got 460 kilowatt at the wheels and 800 newton meters of torque.
How much is 460 horsepower?
In horsepower, it's 600 and a bit. Okay. 600 and some change.
Yeah, enough for the street?
Enough for the street, like this engine now, straight 6.3 litre. We're talking some of the supercar factory power output. Yeah. So this is doing it easily. Yeah.
And what about the tuning?
So the tuning side of things, we like to use Bootmore 3 software, so all custom flex fuel calibration on this vehicle. So the customer can run 98 fuel whenever he likes. And as soon as he starts putting ethanol in there from the pump, like United, the power will increase incrementally as the ethanol content increases.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's full flex, like no fuss, no mess.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice drive in, drive out kind of scenario. So the customers can just do what they want to do when they want to do it. Yeah.
And so for this customer, is this kind of just like a street application?
I guess.
Can do pretty hard.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess most people that come to us that want this type of thing, it's to be able to drive the car in different scenarios. So obviously, you know, if he wants to daily it, he can. If he wants to take it to the drag strip and do some quarter miles or roll racing, anything like that, it's very, very fast car.
Yeah.
You could even take it on a circuit if you want.
Yeah.
We did some suspension upgrades as well.
Okay.
So we've got some SPL control arms on here. We got HKS adjustable coilovers as well. So, you know, just to stiffen up the ride a little bit, give you a bit more feel and confidence in the geometry of the car.
So speaking of that, may as well go what?
We might as well have a look over here. Yeah, so this is his street setup. So it's just some BC 20-inch wheels. He uses factory wheels with some semi-slicks on there if he wants to go racing, just to kind of liven it up a little bit. I guess the other talking point is, you know, no, this is direct fit. We spec them out specifically for the car, so everything's nice and flush. No spaces, everything's done properly. They're a 20 by 11 on the rear, so big tyre, which you need, you know, 305, 30, 20. What you need when you're putting that type of power, you want it to grip. I guess the rest of the aesthetic side of things, we did a full carbon body kit.
I like the body kit.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. Like, there's a lot of brands out in the market, as you can imagine, with the Supra. There's so many different styles that people like. So this was a little bit of a mix match slash, you know, a little bit of a throwback to the Mark IV TRD style spoiler.
I know, I've seen one of those recently.
Yeah.
In fact, believe it or not, those playing at home, my girlfriend has a very similar wing on her Mark IV.
Yeah.
And I recognise it straight away.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, like to give a bit of a homage to the, you know, Mark IV. Full under tray diffuser. This goes all the way underneath the diff. Yeah. So it's, you know, it is active, you know, useful aero. It also has a titanium HKS exhaust system, which you'll hear shortly. Sounds insane. Yeah. You know, not too loud, but just like crisp. So I guess we might as well start it up and see what you think. Yeah. Right, as you know, doing the aesthetics, power, all that type of thing, that's great. A lot of people do it, but we've got something a little bit special on the inside. You got to check it out. Some full carbon bucket Recaros, spec'd out specifically for this car. So just have a guess how much these are.
I have no idea.
They're basically $7,000 a piece. $7,000 a piece, but money well spent.
And how much did you save?
We saved about 45 kilos in total weight. So, like, you know, power to weight ratio is a big player when it comes to performance. Yeah. So dropping that type of weight, there's not really anything else you can do that dramatically on a car to get some weight down. So when we looked at that, you know, the spend to the performance gain out of it, it's noticeable on the street.
I don't like the stock seats either. I find
they're a little bit
bulky.
Plain, yeah, like they're okay. Look, I'm not going to say these are the most comfy things in the world, but once you're in there, it's nice. And
there's some padding down there.
Yeah, it's like, it's well made. Like, even when they came in, we were quite shocked how good the build quality was. Yeah. Because, you know, you see stuff online and you think, oh yeah, that looks okay. But when they came in, we put them in, we're like, these are amazing. Because I've got the buckets at the G80, I kind of get used to this now.
Yeah, the technique.
Like, there's a bit of a technique. So you most see a lot of people that go like this.
The step, yeah.
Put your hand here, take your weight.
And then watch your head.
And pivot in.
Easy.
See?
Easy.
Supercar.
Yeah. We've just been warming up the tyres. She's pretty loose.
Yeah.
Like, well, not that loose.
It lifts, huh?
It lifts. It lifts like...
It gives you that drag car feel. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. Which is nice, right? Like, I think the last few cars I've reviewed of yours modified, what's kind of been a theme is these days all the cars are so fast already. Everything's fast.
Yeah.
So what we actually are after is like a bit of experience as well.
Correct.
It's not always about numbers.
100%.
Is the car enjoyable to drive?
Yeah. I guess like the thing that I like about the Supra is when you do, you know, a few extra things and personalize it and actually build it, you know, from a blank, clean slate and build it the way that you want it to be, it becomes very much more exciting, like a lot more exciting. So, you know, like the way it comes on.
It's nice.
It just wants to break traction all the time, you know what I mean?
What tyres have you got on this?
So these have just got Pirellis on there.
Pirellis, yeah.
Look, I prefer Michelin's.
Me too.
But I think when we did this one, like we couldn't get them. You know, and that shortage in tyres.
Okay, Pirellis are still fine. Majority of Pirellis are fine. But the power progression is nice. It's nice.
It's very linear. Obviously a little bit laggier than a stock turbo. Yeah. But I find that a lot of the way European engines are built, especially the straight six turbos, B58, S58s, it comes on so quick that it is hard to manage because it just wants to torch tires. So this comes on, it wants to do it, but you can kind of, you know, feather with your foot a little bit. I can feel a little bit more manageable.
So what sort of boost are we running?
So this setup, again, the boost will fluctuate depending on ethanol content. But at peak power, when we made, you know, max power in the dyno, we're hitting about 26 psi, which is still relatively low. You know, we can wind this up a lot more. The limiting factor, unfortunately, on this platform is the transmission. So, you know, we want to gradually bring in torque, so at least the customer can manage it from a, you know, driving on the street, but, you know, we don't have to do the extra outlay in cost to do a transmission, which is around that 15k mark. But if he does decide to do that later on, I can wind it up and make even more.
So roughly, like, just for the hardware, what sort of and labor, what sort of costs are we talking?
So if you brought in a stock standard Supra and you wanted to go straight to stage 3, you're looking at about 25k for all the hardware, tuning, all supplied and fitted. Which in the Euro tuning scene, that's pretty good.
I get you. It's things have gotten pretty crazy out there.
and a lot to do with it is just selecting the right parts. So
the right turbo.
Like this turbo kit, for what you get and the price of it, very good cost-effective option. Our single turbo high mount kits, you know, just that kit alone, we're looking at around 15 grand. So this was the turbo, the fueling, tuning, transmission software, suspension work, all that in and out. So it's a well-rounded package for an holistic driving experience. Not just all power. It's, you know, a bit of handling as well.
I like that this is not too over the top JDM either.
It's which you can accidentally do very easily. You can just go,
it only takes a few whack carbon bits to make a car look like faster than the special.
It goes to rice. Right? And the Supra can do that.
For sure.
But you know, at EEP we try to guide our customers in the right direction. You know, obviously cater to what their flavor is. You know, give suggestions on how the build can be. At least that way, you know, they come along the journey with us together, and, you know, when they pick up the car, they got a big smile on their face.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. You know, smiles per, was it smiles per litre? Smiles per miles. Smiles per miles.
Nice. How much torque was it making again?
800.
Yeah, that's enough. At the wheels. Yeah, that's enough.
It's plenty.
These are fun, actually. Like, it's got some padding to it. I've sat in way worse bucket seats than this. Like Lambo seats. A lot of Lambo seats are bad.
I guess, you know, Recaro is a well-known name in the sports seat game.
For sure.
They make some of the, you know, and aesthetically beautiful.
Super.
So I was really impressed with them. It's the first set of these that we've ever fitted to any Euro car. So
Yeah.
it was nice to do something a little bit different. The customer picked these out. He saw them online. It was like, I need those.
Yeah,
I need those. So
I get that. And so from the gearbox side,
it's just software.
just software, yeah. There's no wonder that so many people are taking these gearboxes now
And putting
them in like RX3s
Correct,
and like
yeah.
all these classic cars, like highly tuned cars, the older Supras, older BM, like everything.
Because basically you can make an old car with big power drive like a modern day car.
Yeah, and you can get like this. Yeah, I mean, obviously manual is sure it's an experience, awesome to drive, but a lot of people are noticing they've got 800 horsepower in a 90s car and they barely can put it down or anything, and then now all of a sudden they can take advantage of it with a modern gearbox in an old car.